sharing stories and navigating life's chaos with ADHD. Hello, friends, and welcome to Willow's Waye, where farm life, family, and neurodiversity intersect. On today's episode, we're going to be going over Bresse chickens in further detail. It's the newest breed of chicken that we have here on the homestead. The Bresse chicken originate from the Bresse region of France. I hope that I'm saying it properly. And they have an exceptional meat quality and unique flavor profile. I personally have not tasted them yet, so I'm not 100% sure about their flavor profile, but I will definitely be updating you guys as we journey further along our, path, I guess, with these chickens. They are also considered a dual-purpose breed, so they provide both eggs and meat. However, like I stated previously, the meat that they provide is not your typical flavored chicken meat. So I do look forward to the day they head off to freezer camp, so that way I can elaborate and let you guys know what does a Bresse chicken taste like, and are they actually more exceptional than your standard chicken meat. So, the Bresse chicken does lay a lot of eggs. I get about 2 eggs on average per hen, and they have an amazing red and white and blue or black plumage. So you can notice when you see them, their legs are black or like a soft gray color, and their combs are a bright red and their feathers are white. They can also have darker feathers, however the standard for this breed is just white. So again, they are a French breed, so they do not originate here in America. However, they do thrive here in America, and they're amazing as foragers. So if you're going to be doing a free-ranging flock, I would highly recommend them. They were actually imported recently here in 2011. So they've actually been around for over 500 years in the world, but here within the United States, they've only been here for 14 years. So that's not a very long time for a chicken breed to be established within the country. It's actually fairly new. So I'm very excited to be taking part in the wave of the Bresse. So some people say that they are a triple purpose bird due to their flavor. So they say that they're raised for flavor, meat, and eggs. However, I personally think that they're just a dual purpose meat and eggs. So if you care about flavor quality, then it might be the breed for you. We actually raised Manglanista pigs previously because we wanted a better quality tasting pig, and they're phenomenal. However, when it came to raising them, it was such a struggle that we quickly got out of pigs. So I would recommend them if you want something that tastes a little different than what you get at the store. However, it's not a breed of pig that I would personally get back into full time. Back on to the Bresse chickens though. On average, a hen can lay about 250 eggs per year, which is really good. However, I do notice from my personal hens, we're getting about 2 eggs a day. So I started out with 3 laying hens, and then we raised up a bunch of babies. And between my 3 laying hens, I get about 4 to 7 eggs per day. So sometimes it seems like one of them is laying even 3 eggs per day. However, I don't know if that production is going to go down over time as they age, or if it's going to be, plateau, or how that's going to work. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that, because I'm really kind of curious too. I also have AM Somani chickens, and them compared to the Bresse, they're not really prevalent egg layers. I feel like they should be better egg layers. However, they're just more kind of a cool, fancy breed. So I got the Bresse. That way I could actually have a dual-purpose bird that has more purpose on the farm than just being a fancy bird. The AM Somanis we can sell for a lot more money than the individual Bresse. However, when you look at egg production and the value there, they kind of even out, right? Because the amount of eggs you'll get per hen for their lifetime is equivalent to the price that I could get for one of my AM Somani chickens. So I think that they are worth it, I guess I would say. That's my chicken math for you. So yeah, I think that they're really high quality. Their eggs are really high quality. I actually went over grading their eggs. So I don't know if you guys have ever looked into how to grade eggs between like A egg quality, A, and B quality. There's a whole bunch of different things that go into it. On the exterior scale, you're going to be looking at the cleanliness of the shell, that it doesn't have any stains or blemishes, the shape of the egg, that is oval on one end with a slightly larger other end. You want to make sure that the texture is smooth. You don't want it to be rough or have any sort of like weird bumps and stuff on it. You want it to be unbroken. So the shell should not have any cracks. It shouldn't be flimsy or weak. And you want to make sure that there are windows, which may be there. However, they could be 3-dimensional. So I'm not 100% sure about the windows part, though. That is something I need to look into more. However, there are other factors for like the inside of the egg. So you want to make sure that it has an air shell. And so the air cell is the space between the inner and outer membranes at the large end of the egg. The smaller the air cell indicates how fresh your egg is. So if you have a huge air cell in there, then the egg is not fresh. So you want to make sure that you're getting an egg that has a little air pocket versus an egg with a large air pocket. The yolk as well, you want it to be centered within the egg, as well as it should be round and firm. It shouldn't be like squishy or floppy or like too soft. It shouldn't break super easy as well. The most important part, though, when it comes to grading your eggs are the egg whites. They want to be firm and thick for higher grades. If it's super runny, and like there's an actual ratio to this for how the egg is graded and determined, right? So if you actually go online, I want to look this up really quick so that way I can give you guys accurate information. There's a really cool diagram that I had seen that shows how, like, the percentages of the egg for the yolk and, like, how big you want the yolk to be and whatnot. I'm going to have to find it because I know that I saved it somewhere. I just am not finding it right this second. So I'm going to have to find that, and then you guys will have to go onto my Instagram and check that out because I really did think it was very, very helpful. I mean, helpful enough for me to save. So I highly recommend you guys check that out on my Instagram later on. I will figure that out tonight and post it for y'all. So that way you can check that out. So yeah, back to the Bresse Chicken though. I think that they are an amazing breed. They are little escape artists and they do fly pretty well. So if you don't want a bird that's going to be very like flighty, I wouldn't really recommend them. However, the individual that I had purchased my flock from, she clips one side of their wings before they learn how to fly. However, I forgot to do that with my babies, so they know how to fly now, and they totally escape. But they always come home, which is great. Another thing that I noticed about them is their eggs are larger than my Samani, and they produce like a nice cream colored egg. So I really like that simply because I love Easter, and when Easter comes around, I'll have a good amount of eggs that are of a good color for dyeing. So that's something else that I really like. I also notice when I hard boil them, they seem to cook a lot more evenly than the Samani eggs. The outside and the inside is of the same, not texture, but kind of texture. Whereas the Samani, the outside tends to be a little bit more rubbery and the inside will be a little bit more runny when cooked the same way. The Bresse chickens, their eggs are all relatively soft when cooked. Like if I cook them side by side, right, in the experiment. So like not in separate pots, but in the same conditions. But yeah, so Bresse chickens 101. I think that they're fantastic. I think that so far they're my most favorite chicken breed. I also like the fact that they're just like your standard colored white and red chicken. And I do like the fact that they totally have, like, little zombie chicken legs, because their chicken legs are black, so I think that is really cool. But, yeah, let me know if you guys want to know more about them, like how long they live, or how big they get, stuff like that, and I can make a part 3, as well as we could go over, like, how to sex them, because I will not lie, I totally have some, like, transgender hens, because they look just like roosters, however, they're born female. So we can totally go over that in another episode. And yeah, thank you guys so much for following Willow's Way and joining me on tonight's episode. And I look forward to sharing my journey with y'all and talking more on the next one. Have a beautiful night. And as always, shine bright.